It was like just minutes that we saw each other. Cool. So I've added a couple of things on the announcements. Go ahead if there's anything else people want to call out on that one. Otherwise, what I wanted to just talk about a little bit was the planning board. So I spent a bit of time this morning juggling some things around. Let me just share my screen. What I wanted to, so my kind of original intention behind this board was to be able to like focus our attention so that we don't all have to be trying to keep up with absolutely everything. So sorry, Buzz. So what I was hoping to do is try and limit this down a little bit into the things which we want to discuss like this week or in the next week or so. So either things that we're blocked on or that maybe are slightly bigger discussions that would be worth us talking about. So what I tried to do this morning was take out the things that we probably don't need to cover like right now. So they're not related to our current OKRs and we're probably not going to look at them next quarter either. But from the things, so it still feels to me that having 11 proposals to kind of review probably is still too many. What I'm trying to do is just simply remove the planning label, and then we have our kind of full backlog list of things that we can pull in as needed. But in terms of what we want to go through this week, so Skarbek, I'm assuming it would be useful for you to actually get some more thoughts going on that geo pipeline work. Yeah, cool. And then all the others are, we've got quite a lot of security things on here. So I don't know, Myra, whether you have any opinion on, I call you out, just I think you've raised most of this, but are there any, like, is there like one or two of these that would be most useful to be discussing right now?
I don't think so. I just reviewed all the proposals that are there, and yeah, I don't think we need to discuss it right now. But I also think we can just remove the delivery team planning label if it is not needed there.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So yeah, if you want to have a review, like I'd say, it's not to like stop all conversation, but if there's one, like maybe just one that we want to focus on for now, we could do that. I've left the deploy from master branch on there because I think it's worth everyone probably having a read through that again this week. Not to say we have to necessarily answer the question right now, but there will be, I think there will be a point where rollbacks probably become easier if we make a decision on some of this stuff. That's just an assumption. So I've left that one on for now, like not to say we have to have a final answer, but I think it'd be worth just being familiar with the points that were raised. Default branch, is there something, Myra, that we need to discuss and make a decision on, or is that simply a prioritization / doing the work?
Do you mean the default branch name?
Yeah.
No, I think we have done everything we should have done. We are waiting for the testing, and cool. That is the only pending item on us.
Great. Okay, awesome. I'll do some label tweaking there.
But does it mean that it's ready? So I'm just asking about the process, right? Because now we are removing things and we remove the planning, for instance, but something we may just say that it's ready, so it could be moved, but either we just don't want to do it now.
Yeah, I think that's correct, right? From my understanding, Myra. Like well, we know what we want to do. It's just we didn't prioritize it last week.
Yep.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I'll just move it into ready for now. So got that. There's improvements to delivery release dashboard, which again I think have a read through. and see if people have an opinion on that. Scubex put together some good kind of proposals on, particularly, I think, current release managers. If you have thoughts on whether this will help or not for you, that'd be useful. And then we have two kind of new ones. And again, if we can find a small iteration that looks useful for these, for automate feature flag approvals or addressing tech debt in release tools, then I think it'd be worth bringing them through. So if people haven't looked at those ones, that would be useful. I do think most of the priorities are correct on these labels, though. Geo might be the only one, Scarbeck, we might want to raise up based on how urgent you think this is coming in. So also, please use those labels to prioritize your time. Like, I do think most of these are P4s. So if you need to drop something, this would be a good place.
Certainly.
Fantastic. And then for everyone else, then, yeah, if you wouldn't mind, like, find a little bit of time this week to have a read through, and let's see if we can get some of the proposals into ready so that we can start prioritizing. Excellent. One thing I was going to say about the board is, so for me, the intention, say, is to help us focus on how to spread our time and attention, energy. Because in our delivery issues backlog, we have about 300 issues. So there's no expectation that every week we are making decisions and discussing all those issues. So this is intended to be a bit of a subset for those things. Is there a way that we can make that more useful or like clearer in its intention, rather than it being, it looks at the moment a little bit like sometimes it's used like that, and sometimes it's sort of we haven't prioritized this work yet. So is there something we can do to make that clearer?
Well, I can speak for myself. So I think that this is a great habits to have, but we are kind of coming from a very, let's say, not so organized type of workflow. So, I mean, I just struggle with, now I'm also doing release management. So I also spend less time than usual in issues and things like that. But I think that it's just a matter of, at least from my days in development, sticking with the workflow and just reiterating the concept so that it will be natural for us to just say, yeah, if we want to discuss something together, we just need to apply those labels, because then Monday will be in that list, in that board, and we will talk about it. So, I mean, from my side, I mean, just a matter of sticking to the process, let it sink, and then we will just iterate on it if it doesn't work for us.
Cool. Yeah, that makes total sense. Like when I definitely haven't been sort of tidying up and helping this board out. I've been mostly focusing on the build board, which looks pretty healthy now. So that's great news. So yeah, I will make sure we check in on this. So for now, for this week, the request is simply anything that's on that proposal column, please take a look at. And then next Monday, I'll do another round of cleanup, and we can iterate through that stuff. Awesome. Myra, over to you.
Yep, thanks. So last week was quite fun because we had a lot of incidents, and I mean a lot. So the common question in all of those was, what is the diff that is being deployed at the moment? And what I do is to either rely on the auto deploy status command, but sometimes it is not super trustful because there might be another package that is being deployed at that moment. So the diff is not the one that you want. If that doesn't work for me, I normally try to graph the SHA from the package that I am investigating and find out what was the last package that was deployed, and then graph the difference. But it is just a lot of trouble, and you are under pressure, and because you want to find it out like as quickly as possible. So I just wonder if any of you have a script or a better idea of how to do this.
I'm doing exactly the same. So I would just go to the environments list of the security project, because then you are kind of sure that everything is there also when we are in security mode, and just do and get the diff between what's in there and what's we are. It really depends. That's the real problem, right? Because it depends if you are within a deployment, after a deployment, if there is a gap in what is in production and what is in canary. So no, I'm just looking at all those information and trying to figure out the best thing. But yeah, I was thinking about writing a browser extension for it.
I was using the announcements channel if I ever need to get that information, which I don't like. I think it sounds like the fact that you're asking this question and our team is the closest to this information, maybe we should improve this a little bit.
What if we add a diff link to the start failure and notifications? I mean, that would be convenient. At least you would just see like, okay, either you have a deployment in progress and you can see the diff link, or deployment just finished and you would just click on that diff link. Would this be better?
Maybe even the baking time message that we receive could have a diff in it.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, Jarv, as well as the one from Skarbek. Yeah. And it's probably the right moment in time where we can actually get the correct diff, because at that point either we start or we started a deployment. We know what is running in that environment, which we can check this from the API, and we know what we are deploying, so we can build the diff link. I put a question in after Maria's question, because this is just one part of the problem. Usually it's the biggest one, but there is also Omnibus, there is also GitLab. There are a lot of other things that changes that we don't have a quick way for showing this. So maybe could be an extension to our release management dashboard. I don't know if it's something easy to add there, but kind of, because I would like to really have a kind of a dashboard where I can see this is the diff between what we are deploying and what is in there. But also this diff means that GitLab moves from this version to this other version, and being able to see the same diff for GitLab as well as Omnibus as well as CNG. Because yeah, if we are working on that direction, maybe it's better to just have all the information.
Yeah, the deployer really knows all of this stuff at the component level, because we collect facts before we do the deployment, which basically just grabs the version string of everything. And then after we could potentially build up a list of links. The deployer could build up a list of links for each individual component: workhorse, shell, pages, everything, the whole shebang. So that's a possibility. I don't know.
Could someone open an issue? Like, it sounds like that would be useful enough that we should work out a way to do that.
Yeah, I can do that.
Great, thanks. It'd be interesting to also see if there's anything in the product that we could extend, or whatever like options we have there. Cool, thanks for raising that though. Cool, so was there anything else anyone wanted to raise on the recording?